Brian was born in Los Angeles, California. He is of Mexican descent and possesses dual nationality as both his parents are from Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico. He grew up in Section 8 housing project of San Pedro, California. Growing up, jiu-jitsu was his escape from living in a very dangerous neighborhood. René Gracie was his teacher and his friend. His talents in jiu-jitsu made him notorious in the underground fighting world. Which then piqued the curiosity of a local boxing coach, James Luhrsen. Coming from the same type of upbringing, James and Brian developed a great relationships from the beginning. Brian was inspired by James overcoming his circumstances and making it out of where he was born. With his team in place, Brian started his MMA journey fighting for gladiator challenge and respect in the cage. He went undefeated fighting for both fight promotions. Brian then went on to fight for RFA. He went 2-0 while fighting there. One fight against Keone Koch, which became a candidate for Fight of the Year. Brian transitioning triangle after triangle, and that's why they call him T-City. Brian ends up winning via split decision, taking his record to 8-0, saying, "I am ready for the UFC." He would then make his UFC debut against Mike De La Torre, which would result in a no contest. After this, Ortega goes on to fight Thiago Tavares on June 6, 2015 in New Orleans, Louisiana. He defeats Tavares via TKO in the third and final round. He would then go on to face Diego Brandao in January 2016. Brian goes on winning by submission by way of triangle choke in the third round. Next opponent to fight was Clay Guida in June of 2016 in Los Angeles, California. He knees Guida to his head, knocking him out in the third round. Renato Moicano was up next in July of 2017. Brian goes on winning via submission by way of guillotine in the third round of this bout. By this time, Ortega was making a name for himself in the division, which meant he was now ready to fight big names in the featherweight. This UFC Fight Night was the main event of the evening and Brian's first main event in the UFC as number 6 with the unbeaten record of 12 wins. In the first round, they return each other's fire, standing up, swinging hard. At the end of first round, Ortega snaps Swanson's neck in anaconda choke, taking him down. Cap surviving, only saved by the bell. In the second round, Swanson starts to take over by more dominant stand-up striking. This of course gives Brian's corner enough reasons to instruct him to get closer, attacking him with his BJJ game. From the clinch, T-City jumps the guard, snapping Cap's neck once again, finishing with a guillotine choke, while Swanson standing on his feet. His next opponent is legend in the sport of MMA, and his name is Frankie Edgar. Brian truly rises to the challenge, defeating Frankie by a KO in the first round. With a great left elbow, Brian hurts Edgar real bad, taking his time to finish wobbly Frankie with a kill shot by right uppercut knockout punch, adding some hammer fist. With momentum on his side, he then faced Max Blessed Holloway, another big name in the UFC's featherweight and the current champ. Brian would go on to lose via referee stoppage in the fourth round. This was the main event fight of UFC 231 in December 2018, and I remember this beating very well as I was there live here in Toronto, Canada. 290 strikes of Holloway were just too much to deal with for Ortega. Brian would have to wait for his chance of redemption. After almost 2 years, his next matchup would be the Korean Zombie Chan Sung-jung in October of 2020. Catching the Korean Zombie with a clean spinning elbow with absolutely perfect timing. Brian wins this tough 5-round fight by unanimous decision with almost 130 strikes versus 62 strikes thrown by the Korean Zombie. His next fight is set for March 27th, fighting for the belt as the #1 contender against current champion of the world Alexander the Great Volkanovski